We've looked at the Islanders' center prospect pool and their growth this season. Now let's shift our focus and look at the left wing prospect pool. How have they grown or not this year? As always, hit that subscribe button, don't miss a video. Also, go to Twitter, follow at TLOMitch, that's me. Don't miss any breaking information about Islanders prospects I've yet to cover on this channel. When we talk about the Islanders' left wing prospect pool, we're talking about 5 guys. We're talking about Kiefer Bellows, Arnaud Durando, Blake Jenkins, Alex Jeffries, and Alexander Ljungcrantz. And I know I'm including Kiefer Bellows in here, and he's kind of basically an NHL regular at this point, but I don't feel that he's actually established a role just yet. So he's still here. He's on the cusp, though. As things go, probably next year, he won't be in this list. But let's look at how these guys have grown since the start of this season. So just like we did with the center prospect pool, here's the graph. And let me pull it up on my screen here so I can look along with you guys. Red line, you got Kiefer Bellows. Yellow, Arnaud Durando. Green, Alex Jeffries. Orange, Blake Jenkins. And the blue line at the bottom there, Alexander Ljungcrantz. So let's go through each and every one of those players. Let's start with the first name here, Kiefer Bellows. That's the red line that kind of looks like a bunch of stairs there. He's just floating at the 30 NHLE line. Now, if you don't know what NHLE is, or you forgot, it's a translation system. And what it tries to do is it takes a player's production rate at whatever level they are and translates that to an NHL number. So let's say they're putting up 20 points in 45 games at the SHL level. What would that translate to at the NHL level? So that's what we're looking at here. Based off of Kiefer Bellows' production this year at any point or any league, it's really only been the NHL, what does that translate to at the NHL level? And he's a basically 30-point player, better than everyone else in the pipeline. And what we're really looking for in this video is, are they growing, are they not, or are they stagnating? And with Kiefer Bellows, you can see incremental growth. And that kind of fits with what we've seen so far at the NHL level, right? The more he's being trusted, the more his game is coming out. Now, is that to say that he's a for sure NHLer and then let him run? I don't know about that. I think he's definitely an NHLer, but is he a top 6 player like he was drafted? I'm not so sure about that, at least not in the Islanders system. He still has some kinks to work out, specifically in terms of where he's supposed to be or when it comes to X's and O's, right? Systematically, he's got some things to work out. The shot is there. The talent is definitely there as an offensive player. But he still needs to work things out and how to live or coexist in a system with other players. And so that's kind of the one thing that's holding him back right now. But in terms of what we're looking for here, there's definite growth with Kiefer Bellows. Then we have Arnaud Durando. That's the yellow line here that starts at 30 and then trails down to about 20. That's not what you want to see over a year. We're starting out hot and then just not putting up any points after that. The thing here with Arnaud Durando, and it's always been the thing with him, is consistency, right? He needs to be a consistent player. I said it at the beginning of the year. If he's not going to be performing consistently, the points aren't going to be there, and he's got no shot. And you can see that right there, right? Like after week number 4 or 5, just straight down because the production wasn't there, because the consistency and effort level wasn't there either. He needs to pick up his game, and you can see that kind of happening over the last week or so, right? He's got points in a couple of games there, so good for him, but he's going to have to do a whole heck of a lot more throughout the season to convince any of us that he's an NHL player. Now you have Alex Jeffries. That's the green line that's floating around 10-point NHLE. And that's low, and so is there a concern there? I wouldn't necessarily say so. The potential is there for him still. He's playing at a weaker league, so consider that, right? He's playing at the NCAA level, whereas the 2 guys I talked about before, NHL level and AHL level. And that matters from a translation point perspective, right? Because the 1 point that you put up at the NHL or NHL level is worth more than what you do at the NCAA level. So whenever they put up 1 point, they being Kiefer Bellows or Arnaud Durando, it means more than Alex Jeffries putting up a point at the NCAA level. So should we be concerned that Alex Jeffries is basically plateauing? I would say no. He is playing in not the strongest team, right? Like Merrimack is ranked somewhere around 28th nationally at the college hockey level. It's not the best team. It's not a bad team either. but it's kind of reflective of the talent level that he's playing with. It's not the highest quality talent level either, and he's still putting up points. We also have to remember it's only the second year there for Alex Jeffries at the college level. So I wouldn't really put a ton of stock saying like, oh, he's not putting up a lot of points, or he's not putting as many points as he was, or as frequently as he was last year. I wouldn't really worry about that. A sophomore slump is a thing, and he's not necessarily going through it, but he's going through the learning curve. I would imagine that this is going to go up next season for him. Then we have Blade Jenkins. That's the orange line there. You see go up and then back down again. So the growth there for him, it took a while for him to start putting up points, but he did eventually, and now it's drying up again. And I think what we're seeing with him is when the points went up, that's when a lot of the players or a lot of the talent at the AHL level were moved up to the NHL level, right? That was about when the Islanders went through their COVID crisis. And so he had to play up. And he did pretty well with that. He put up a couple of points at a more consistent level, but that's because he was given the opportunity and the ice time. Now, you kind of get in a chicken or the egg situation. Is it because of the ice time, or is it because of the talent level? It's hard to say. I think it's more of the former, the ice time, rather than the latter, talent level. It's not to say that he doesn't have any talent. I just think that being played in a top 6 position helped him by playing with still some quality players. Like you get to play with Chris Terry, which obviously helps a lot because he's a good AHLer, and that benefited Blade Jenkins. And now that he's not, you can see it kind of go down again. The final one here is Alexander Ljungcrantz, and that's the one that's basically stayed flat and then just kind of went up a bit and is plateaued again. That moving up is him scoring 2 goals in 2 games for Vita Hassan after he was loaned out to that second-tier SHL squad, or sorry, second-tier Swedish squad. Is there something to worry about there? Maybe. This is a 3rd-round pick, the top pick for the Islanders in that draft class in 2020, that is, and he's not doing a whole lot. It's not to say he's a bad player. He's definitely got speed, he's definitely got skill, and he's definitely got hockey IQ, but it's just not coming together at any consistent basis. Brynäs doesn't want to use him, clearly. That's why they loaned him out. He did okay at the U20 level this year, and he's doing this year for Vita Hassan. He's playing on the 3rd line right now, kind of flipping between 3rd and 4th line. So I don't know what to make of this pick. It was a surprise when the Islanders made it. And it's kind of rearing exactly what we thought it was going to be when they made the pick. It's not looking great right now. Still early, but when you see the growth this year not really moving up aside from just kind of like one little blip, that's not good for Alexander Ljungcrantz. So that's the left wing prospect pool for the Islanders. Clearly the best player out there is Kiefer Bellows, and he is currently at the NHL level. You take him out of the equation and it doesn't look very good for the Islanders. Arnaud Durandeau is maybe the best one this year, and there's a hope and a prayer there, and it's not a guaranteed NHL player. So, thank you for watching, thank you for following. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you have, thank you, thank you, thank you.